Right, you lot, and you're not going to believe it, right? I've done another tier list video. I cannot believe I've actually milked another one. I love it. It's so simple and it always works. Don't break a winning formula, you know what I mean? So, what I'm doing today is I'm doing a tier list of all of my songs, the entire discography of my band Broadburn, and I did this a year ago, but the difference I'm doing this time is that last year I included like all the comedy songs, but I've done like things like Love Will Keep Marching On, Bottled It, and it's like they don't really count, do they? They're not really meant to in the same metric because they're kind of jokes. Whereas all of the songs on this tier list were meant to be serious. I mean, some of them I don't think you could take seriously, but I'm doing all of them. So we got all of the Made Out Live songs, all the Progress Take a Progress songs, all of the past, the present, and the future songs, plus the original OG Big L songs with Be Stronger Waves, those sort of songs are there as well. So yeah, now I needed to think of an order to put all these songs in because I couldn't just do it by album because like obviously the newer songs are gonna be better and the older songs are gonna be worse. So I couldn't really think of a fun way to do it except for just alphabetical. So I did it by letter. So yeah, that's the metric I've gone for. So let me go over the tiers. We've got my best work. I'm not saying that these songs are amazing. I don't think I've ever done a probably above a six. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna try and be humble in this because I'm known for being the most arrogant person on the planet. So I'm gonna be very critical of my work here in this one. Then we got very proud of it. I was like, yeah, I'm proud of that song. Very proud still to this day, and I stand by what I did. Happy with it. I was like, yeah, I'm happy with that. It could have been better, but it works. It's fine. They're the ones that are just kind of there. I don't hate it, but I don't really like it either. So it's just kind of in the middle. Skip are the ones where like, yeah, if anyone hears that, they're skipping it. It's just not very good. I'm endly embarrassed by this. The songs that I wish were never made, to be totally honest. So let's start this. The first song on here is Always Been You. I can't remember if I did this alphabetical or not, as in like ranked in order. Okay, Always Been You, Progress Take a Progress, and I'm gonna say it's fine. Um, Always Been You is a song where it was like I kind of in like middle between kind of the transition from Made Out like to Progress Take a Progress. And I think I was still finding my footing when it came to because there was a lot of more rap bass and vocal choruses on this one, which I did pretty much all of Made Out Alive. I didn't do a lot of that on Progress and pretty much none of it on Passion in the Future. So I think the song's sweet, it's nice. I feel like some of the verses are too long and there's almost too many words in it. So, but I think that the hook's decent. You know, vocally, I've come a long way from this era, but I'm more looking at them as songs because if we're doing it based vocally, obviously the newer stuff's better. So that's what I'm going for. Almost Fallen. It is a skip, isn't it? Like Almost Fallen was a important song because the first few songs, "Be Stronger Ways, Find a Way," were just kind of really about nothing. Whereas Almost Fallen was the first song that actually had a bit of a meaning to it and kind of was a catalyst for me out loud. But as a song, it's not very good, is it? Like the problem with it is that I think I got better at storytelling as time went on. I think the storytelling almost found pretty weak because pretty much no one but me is ever going to understand what that song was. So I think that's kind of the issue. Okay, now we've got Bandage, and we've also got the original Bandage. Remember the one on my YouTube channel? So I think Bandage is still my best work. I think it's probably kind of the best metaphor that I've ever done because it's like the metaphor changes. It means one thing in the first half, and then it has a whole new meaning in the second half. So I think the layers in the songwriting there. It's a very simple song as well. It's a very easy one to do. I was really happy with the instrument. I was really happy with what we did with Bandage, and I think it was a big song for me because it was the first song that I ever did that was only vocal and was a ballad, and that's pretty much a lot of what I do, and all my best stuff is that now. So I think it was an important song. And the original Bandage, I go back and forth into which one I could prefer because I think the new one's a better song, but I think the original one, because it was more recent to the events I'm detailing, I think it had more emotion involved. So I'm just going to put them both here, really. So I think it kind of is the same song. Blurry Realities. know what? I'm happy with it. Blur Realities was kind of a leftover song at the time because I was McKinney sent me this instrumental, which was meant to be for This Is Me, which I didn't really think fit. So I kind of just left it. And then when I was coming to do the EP, I was like, I sort of need more songs than this. And I found this instrumental and found these old lyrics, and it kind of malfunctioned into some sort of song. But then as time had gone on, I actually think it was one of the better songs on Made It Out Live because I like the kind of tone and the atmosphere I was able to create with Blue Reality. So I think I am happy with it, but it's far from the best I've done. Okay, the original Be Stronger. I mean, it might be one of the worst songs. Honestly, I think it's down there with like I play Pokemon Go every day, and like it's every day, bro. It's sort of going to be worse than those sort of songs. At least they had some sort of production going on. Like the problem with Be Stronger was that not only was terribly recorded, but also I had no idea what I was doing. The lyrics are awful, if you could even understand them. The vocal performance, God. So it's got to be there. And then the rewrote Be Stronger. I'm going to go with It's Fine. I quite liked it in the beginning. I thought it was a clever sort of thing of like, oh, I'm kind of taking the piss out of my first song. But and like as time's gone on, I just kind of think it's okay. I don't know. I think I've come a long way from Be Stronger, and there's only so much you could do with that instrumental. Because I think the keyboard's improved a lot. Okay, now on to see Cardboard Box. I'm I'm gonna go happy with it, but I Cardboard Box is one of my more popular songs. Actually, people have actually said they like this song to me, which I'm not surprised about because it's a more rap based one. It's a very easy song to kind of get into because it's a rhyme that you all know, big. It was an experiment, and I wanted to do something dubstep. I wanted to do something not upbeat, and I think for what it was okay. But I think some of the lyrics and some of the themes they were going for, I don't know. But I am happy with it. Changes, I'm actually very proud of it, and this is the one song from Made It Out Alive that I still think sort of holds up as a song at least because I think that as much as there's elements of changes I don't like, I think sometimes quite offbeat on the song, and I think there's maybe sometimes I'm trying to go too fast with the raps, but I think the way I delivered it and the sentiment and the hook that I was going for changes. I think it's one that I do come back to a lot, and I think it's the one song from it out loud that I think is decent. So yeah, change the tide. I am happy with it. I think change the tide is one of my more favourite songs, just for personal level, just because of what it's about and the kind of subject matter. It's one of the most fun ones I've done because it's kind of the first upbeat song I ever did. Because if you listen to me out live, a lot of those songs are so negative. So it was nice to kind of do one that was a bit more fun. You know what I mean? But I think the problem with Change the Tide is that vocally it isn't there. I'll still find it by Baron, but you know what? I think the tone is done right, and I think it's a bit of a finally thriving. I think it is a skip. It's a bit like almost it's the sequel to Almost Fallen, and look, as an album closure, it's okay. It's a good piece of the puzzle and progress, but I don't think it really stands alone that well as a song. And there's some lyrics on this song as well. I kind of the problem is when you're like living life, life changes so quickly, so you write things you kind of disagree with later on, and there's a lot of that in Finally Thriving. So that's what I put there. Find Your Way. Yeah, I think Find Your Way is probably one of my most famous songs because I milked that thing on the main channel for so long because it just didn't come out because I had someone else who meant to be on the song. And then they didn't even, weren't even on the song in the end, so it was like a big waste of time, really. But you know what? Overall, I think Find Your Way was an experiment, and it was better than Waves and Be Stronger. But I regret it because I wish I never put it on Made Out Live because it is so out of place there. Okay, the sequel to Find Your Way Part Two, I think it's fine. This was one of those things where it's like you, I needed 12 songs for the album. No, I'm joking. I didn't. It was an obvious thing to do because I did a sequel to Be Strong. I did a sequel to it. I've got to do another Find Your Way, and but I think it's okay. It gets the point across. I think lyrically it's okay, but it's not that memorable, is it? Okay, Go Away. I kind of got tired of Go Away. When I first did it, I thought it was quite clever because I'm doing a song about death and doing an upbeat instrumental, but I just think it's a bit meh. I was happy with it at a time, but I think now it's just fine. I think I wish it would go away. No, I just think I did a lot better with Mid Out Live. I just want to note sorry progress over progress, and it's just one that's kind of there. Go On, I think, is a skip. Go On was an important song because it was kind of a like it's kind of the second half of the album. You're kind of reflecting on the Made Out Live period, and it's kind of a showing some growth. So I think it's an important piece of the puzzle and progress over progress, like others. But then I think it's just I don't know. I think it could have been better. I think the it was adapted based on a song I wrote when I was 9, and I thought that tells you the problem with Go On. Okay, Golden Years. I think Golden Years has got to be in my best work. I just think, but that's what argument to be made. It's the best song I've ever done, but I don't think it is. But you can make the argument because I think it's the one time I wasn't right about myself. To be honest, it was one time I wasn't being selfish, and I think as a hook and when it comes to memorability, it's one of the strongest. Person for me. Heartbreaking. Oh, Heartbreaking is an example of something I hasn't aged well. For me, Heartbreaking is. I really liked it when I first did it, but with time, I think it's just fine now. I think it's. I don't know. I feel like I was trying to develop the vocal style, and this was what I did early on in the album, where I was like, vocally, Progress was really bad, so I kind of had to re kind of adapt that for the next one. And I think this was a baby step towards that, but it hasn't aged the greatest. If I Have You, I'm very proud of this. I don't really care. If I Have You might be my most cheesy song I've ever done. It may be the most stupid, and I feel like no one but me would rate this one. I mean, Reese isn't a big fan of it, to be honest, and he's like the guy you go to for music. He's next to music, but I love it. I don't care. I just had so much fun doing this one. I think it's not meant to be too complex. It's just kind of a vibe, and I appreciate that. Keep Smiling, I think, has got to be my best work. I think the atmosphere that I create with Keep Smiling, and just the way the story's told, because it's probably the most cryptic song. You'll never guess what that is about if you listen to that song. You have no idea. But I wanted to create a certain atmosphere with Keep Smiling. I think it's one of my personal favourites in that sense. And I think vocally what I was able to do with Keep Smiling, I think it's one of my strongest performances as well. So yeah. Okay, Long Aston. I'm very proud of it. I think Long Aston is a great album opener because I think Long Aston kind of sets the tone really well for what the album is. Better than other openers I had. I think it's my best opener of a long time because I feel it shows the themes of the album, and it's a very decent song as well because I had the feature on it on the YouTube version. I could have included both as separate, but honestly, I think the studio one. I go back and forth, but I think the studio one is better in the end. Okay, Lying to Myself. I think Lying to Myself is probably my best work as well. I might be biased because it's one of the more recent ones, but I think Lying to Myself is probably it's one of my more complex songs again because it doesn't have a chorus. Lying to Myself, it's a weird song, and it's like it's the closure, and it's like part of the future section, but I'm talking about things in the present and past, and it's like it's a very complicated song. Just you wait for the lyric breakdown on that one because it's going to be fun because it's one of like it's just it's got so much meaning behind it and so much important, and it was a really important song for me, and it means a lot to me on a level. And I think vocally it's probably the best performance I've ever done on the song. I think the falsetto kind of stuff I do in the first half is probably the best I've ever done vocally. So I think it'll be there for that reason. Okay, Not Enough. I'm also going to put my best work because I think Not Enough is it's probably one of the standouts on Progress Progress because I think it's such a great kind of storytelling, and it's very simple, but it gets the point. And I think vocally it's pretty decent as well. And it's the first song I ever performed live, so I think it holds a special place in my heart as well. Okay, New Frontier. I'm happy with it. I think New Frontier. I've gone back and forth with it. I don't remember it too much, the album, but I kind of like what it stands for, what I was going for. I like the atmosphere. It's got a very old school feel to it, and it's got a very like classic folk to it, and I like that kind of element. So the number crunch is fine. The number crunch is fine. I like the number crunch was kind of it was the last song I wrote for the album, and it was like in kind of the crunch time. Sorry, no pun intended there. of like I've got to get this finished because I'm leaving school in 2 weeks. So it's really fun the song, but maybe I think I could have done more with the choruses here. I think it's it's kind of one of those songs where it's like kind of a hook and the verses don't matter, and the hook isn't even that great to begin with. Like it's decent, but I don't know. But I did bring back the rap flows for one song, so I appreciate that. Persona, I'm gonna put in my best work, and Persona is it might be. It's definitely my favorite song on Progress Over Progress, and it's probably my top three of my whole discography so far because I just think I love the way this song builds. I think it lyrically, at least, I think it, like the first couple of verses and how they culminate into the climax. I think it's probably one of the strongest I've done in that sense. So it will always be reverse. That's a skip. Reverse is like the forgotten child in kind of the kind of love arc in Progress because you've got Bandage. That's a great song. Ways Rewritten. That's a pretty great song. What's it? Not Enough. Pretty great. Reverse. No, like no. Reverse was like it was a time in my life that it's capsules, and I think going through these songs you kind of get sections of my life, and I think that was a section that I'd rather not talk about. So I don't think it's a very good song vocally either, because I kind of did Bandage. I was like, I can sing on songs now. No, I can't really. So Replicate, it's fine. I don't know. I think Replicate is an important piece of the puzzle again because it's the big like future, talk about like families and like children, all of that sort of stuff, and I think it's okay. But it's a pretty basic song. I feel like when I wrote the hook for this song, I was like, this is just too obvious. Like this is too simple. Like I should be doing more than this. And then the final third is a bit messy as well. The song, but I think it's okay. Scared to Love Again. I'm happy with it. I think this was a hook that like I kind of just listened to the instrumental for like an hour and then came together with this hook, and it's one of my favourite ones that I've done because it's really simple, really easy, and it's just a generic pop song to be honest. And I think it works decently for what's going for. Slow Motion. I think Slow Motion's a skip. I do. When I first did Slow Motion, I liked it, but I think I I went too far with Slow Motion. But I do like the sentiment of the song. It's not quite something I'm embarrassed about, but it's like that. The Shadow Man, I'm gonna say I'm happy with it. The Shadow Man was one of those like sometimes I'll describe the instrumental to Nikki and he'll absolutely deliver 100% what my mindset was. Like Keep Smiling, for example, that was one that was like I heard that, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. Sometimes I'll describe something to him, he'll give me back what his interpretation of it is, and I'm like, that was not what I had in mind. And sometimes it works for better and I actually do a better song. What's an example of that? I mean, Persona, for example. Persona sounded nothing like what I expected, and it's one of my favourites. So, but sometimes it doesn't work like that. And The Shadow Man was the key example of that, where it sounded nothing like what I expected. I was like, how am I going to make a hook out of this? And I think I did okay in the end. I think it's a fun song. I like the kind of sarcastic undertones going on in The Shadow Man, and I think it's a good follow up for Long Ashton and have a decent place in the album. This Is Me is probably my least favourite song I've ever done, even below these guys. I hate This Is Me. I would delete it, but it's so much effort to delete songs off streaming, and I can't be asked, so it's kind of just that. My problem with this song is that it feels more like a high school diary. It feels more like a yearbook crap. My problem with this song, right, is that I was trying to do it as a kind of end summary of kind of that whole year, but I wrote it in March, and it's meant to be a summary of a year, and that a school year doesn't end till July. So what happened afterwards that kind of contradicts a lot of this, but also I just think it's not a very good song in terms of how the lyrics work with the hook. I think the hook is terrible, and I hate some of the bars in this song. I hate some of the crap that I did with it, and it's probably the most cringe song I've ever done because I just hate everything about this song. I think every artist just has a song they hate that they wish they could take back, and this is one I definitely wish I could have done better because a title like "This Is Me" could have been such a song, but just wasn't, was it? Okay, we got "The Nightmare Neighbor." I'm very proud of this one. I think this was another one of those out there things. I was like, I want to do a punk rock song on a country folk album. Why the hell not? That was my main incentive when I did it, and it's kind of a cult favorite in the family, which is quite cool, to be honest. And yeah, I think it's a more rap based one. I'm not taking myself too serious, whoever, and it's like I'm taking something that was quite one side negative, and making a bit of a laugh out of it. So I do appreciate the song. It's not quite top tier though for me. Undecided. I'm gonna say I'm embarrassed by this because I the message of the song was a very important thing and something feel strongly about, but the way I delivered it and the way the song's delivered, I don't like it, and I feel like it gives a bad rap because I don't think vocally I'm very good on it. So I feel like when you want to convince them to listen to your album, you got to make sure the first track is decent. You got to make sure the first track is one of the better ones because if it's not, people aren't going to listen to it. I think the new album, Long Last, is one of the stronger tracks. So if you don't like that one, no, don't bother listening to the rest of it really. Whereas Progress, Undecided is probably the worst song on it. So in my opinion now, so just skip the Bandage. Just play that one first, for God's sake. Okay, now we've got U-Turn. I'm gonna put U-Turn in um the top tier because I think U-Turn is for what it's going for. Again, it's meant to be a more of a parody. It's meant to be one of those like almost diss track songs, and it's just a song about me moaning about some people I don't like for about 3 minutes, and it's a bit of a petty song, I guess. It's a bit like I do maybe regret some of the bars in there, but then it's not as embarrassing as other things because it's tongue in cheek, isn't it? The whole tone of the song. Okay, now we're on to the many W's that I've done. Okay, we got Waves the rewritten version. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think it was clever how I took Waves and completely flipped it on its head and made it into a love song, sort of. So I think that was kind of cool. The original Waves, well, obviously, it's got to be here. I'm sorry. Look, when the big old Waves dropped, it was probably the most attention I ever got on a song, which is I think because it was like the first proper one, and people were like, oh my god, does he have any talent? No, he doesn't. And I think most people gave up after that one. It's not my most viewed song. Almost Fallen has more views than it on YouTube, which I'm bloody fuming about. That they're my top two songs. They're the ones that everyone knows before. It's like how everyone knows Carly Rae Jepsen for "Call Me Maybe" when like half of Emotion is so much better than it, and no one's ever heard of it. So I feel like I'm like that. When like my biggest songs are the worst ones. My most streamed song is streaming is "Waiting for Mistletoe" for God's sake. So we'll get to that one in a minute. Um, Waves, yeah. So the original Waves, it's the worst vocal performance ever done on a song. Genuinely, it's worse than the Submarine Man. Oh, the Keeley carries on the song, literally, in two ways. So I guess the Keeley feature might make me move it up, but then I'm so bad on it. And also, it's like I'm reading a book in the verses. Like, take a break, man. There's too many words, and they're all saying the same thing. I hate the original Waves. Okay, Wasted Potential. It's fine. It's probably got my worst line ever when I said, they call me brain, but really I'm clueless. Yeah, that was there's always gonna be one bad bar. Every album's gonna have a bad line, and that's it. Especially when I did 18 songs. But I think it's a fun kind of song, and I like the sentiment, but it's nothing great. Warn You, I think has to be my best work as well because it. I don't, no, I'm gonna put it very proud of it because I think there's a little bit of cringe element with Warn You now because I think sometimes some of the lyrics I'm like I could have 100% changed the situation. Like I was listening, in reality, what could I like? I may have made a little difference, but I feel like I'm over like illustrating the difference I could have made in a situation. So that's my only issue of it. But I think it's probably one of the best hooks I've ever done because I think it was just such an easy one. I wrote it in the shower, the hook for Warrior. Genuinely, I heard the instrumental and it was just in my head. So I think the best thing come in a shower, don't they? So I think that was another example of it. So that's why I put it here. Okay, two more songs to go. We've got Waiting for Mistletoe. Skip for me. Because the problem with doing a Christmas song is that you can only play it once a year for 1 month. Except I don't know why you'd play Waiting for Mistletoe. It's like it's cringe, but it's Christmas, so I think you could let it off. But the problem is it's on the album. So the album came out in the summer, and it's got the Christmas song on it. And the reason it's got the Christmas song is because I wanted an even number, and I had 17 songs. So why not just chuck the Christmas song on there? It doesn't matter if it makes sense. So that's my only beef with Waiting for Mistletoe. But the music video was filmed in London. That was quite cool, I guess. But it's not a very good song, is it? But like, it was obviously me just trying to be a bit cheesy because it's Christmas. So, but I think I could do a better Christmas song than that. And the Keeley's Christmas song that he did last year was infinitely better. And the final track is 2 feet. As in, like, it's got a number in the title, so it kind of doesn't really fit in the alphabet, so I kind of just chucked to the end. 2 feet, I don't know. Is it fine, or is it a skip? I'm gonna have to say it's fine. It's kind of like If I Have You, but if I Have You was bad. That's just my opinion. I think that I think 2 feet is just kind of like it's a bit out there, but I was having fun. Like, I like to experiment, and that's the thing. I'm still finding my footing, and I'm still doing stuff. I think 3 albums in, I've got a decent case study of what works and what doesn't now, but there's still more stuff I want to try. Just you wait for the opera song. I'm waiting for it. Classical music coming next night. No, I'm joking. That's not happening. Heavy metal, maybe, you know. I mean, I never would have thought I would have done country when I started, so and we did that. So who knows? Right, so I think my best work. I might have put too many songs in it, really, but I think probably my top three songs have to be Lines for Love, Keep Smiling, and Persona. And I think my worst song is undoubtedly This Is Me. So that's just my opinion. If you disagree, if you want to argue that Waves, the original, was the best Broadburn song, you must be Helen Keller or just the biggest sad person ever. But if you want to argue that all embarrassing, that's probably a fair argument. Maybe I was a bit too nice for myself in this, but yeah, I'll see you lot soon. I don't really know because I'm filming this before I go on holiday, you see, so I filmed a bunch of tier lists and lyric breakdowns, so I don't really know the order's still going to come out, but I'll see you soon. It might be near September when this comes out, or it might be near August, I don't know. I'll see you lot soon. Bye.